Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. In this episode, Sony makes the baloney. No, I'm just kidding. Sony buys remake and remaster studio Bluepoint Games, the studio that wants to be a real boy. So rumors were kind of swirling that Sony was going to make another purchase of a studio, and this is what they did. So they basically have brought in Bluepoint and has said, you are now a first party. So Bluepoint, take a bow. You're now a Sony first party studio. We don't know really what they're working on or what they're going to be doing, if they're going to make them keep working on remakes and remasters, or if they're going to let them develop some good new first party games for them, Sony. Come out with some new original stuff. I'm betting that's what Bluepoint's hoping, that they get to work on, new games, but they've yet to prove themselves, right? All Bluepoint's really known for is remasters and remaking of games type stuff. So they're not really widely known for making unique new stuff. So it is to be seen basically what Sony will let Bluepoint do. But Sony basically made an announcement on Twitter introducing the next member of the PlayStation Studios family. So if you want to watch the little video they put out, you can head on over to Sony's Twitter feed and go check out that video. I'm sure a lot of gaming studios would love to be bought up by Sony, or a large corporation like Microsoft, either one of them. But to be brought on as a first party studio for Sony, it's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing for Sony. It adds more studios to their repertoire, which means that, they can lower the cost of developing their games or remastering their games. They don't have to pay a third party. They keep the money within Sony. But Sony's going to keep the money within Sony. They're not going to cut you a break. I mean, none of them are, right? It just means anything that Bluepoint comes out with is going to be a $70 game.
So, nope. It's going to be $80 because Sony has to make up for what they spent on Bluepoint.
Right. or what they spent on, what was the Returnals one? House Marquee.
Yeah.
They've done like 4 purchases in the last calendar year or something. So, Nick, man, what do you think of this acquisition? I think you got to play the remake of Demon's Souls. I played the Shadow of Colossus remake, and, it was good, but it was a remake. I've played the original. So what do you think, Nick, on this?
Who cares? Shane? No. Good for them. I mean, I don't know. Sony's acquisitions are always like, hey, these companies have been making games for us for X number of years. Let's buy them now. Well, didn't see that coming. I mean, they don't make any acquisitions that are outside of, their ballpark. House Marquee's made games for Sony. Bluepoint's been making games for Sony. And then they buy them and everyone's like, it's like, what? Did you expect something different? Because that's all they make games for, is for that developer or for that publisher. So it's kind of a given at this point that they're going to be bought by them at some point. That's good and all. I mean, we'll see what Bluepoint does. I mean, the Demon's Souls remake was really good. I did play the Shadow of Colossus remake, and it's really good. So they do have remake game experience. Supposedly, from what we know, is they are remaking a beloved series or game or something like that. Supposedly, beloved is in quotes.
Gex the Gecko.
I was waiting for a title after that. I'm like, what beloved game?
No, they didn't say it. They just said beloved. So that's to be determined. And then they're also supposedly making their own game, their own IP. So that's cool. I mean, I'm hoping this studio brings out some cool games, but they do good with remakes, but can they make their own stuff? That's the real question, right? And they haven't yet proven that. So I'm hoping their first game is a home run. I'm hoping the studio's the bee's knees, and they're just awesome. So that's really what I'm hoping. But is it a surprise that Sony bought them? Not really. I was surprised it waited this long to buy them. I thought they bought them a long time ago, and they didn't. Right? So, when Demon's Souls came out and stuff like that, I thought Bluepoint was a Sony owned studio because that's all they made games for. And then to find out, like, no, they're not. I'm like, oh, really? That's weird. And then they buy them. It's kind of like it's as surprising as when Microsoft bought the Forza studio. Finally, Turn 10. When they finally bought them, and everyone's like, wow, they bought Turn 10. It's like, they made nothing but Forza and other games for Microsoft's console. And that's all they've made. So sure, yeah, at some point that company's going to go, you know what? Maybe we should buy them. Yeah, no kidding.
Right. Yeah, just as surprising in like the Insomniac studio buy that they did. Sony
yeah, exactly. Like, really? Wow, that's a page turner there, man. It's a head turn. I can't believe it. They bought a studio that's made nothing but games for their console. Wow, surprising. No, this isn't surprising. I figured they were going to buy them eventually at some point, and they did, which is cool. That's great. I mean, like I said, with their remakes, they're good. Can they make a title in-house that's a new IP that's good? We'll have to see, right? But if what they've done with remakes, kind of flows into their first-party IPs, then maybe so. Maybe it'll be great. Shane, what do you think?
I care, Nick. I care. I also care that that's just another game, hopefully, that will be made that will be quality. Sony as a corporation is crap, but man, do they know how to get the great game companies and make them make good games. So I'm happy. I think Bluepoint has done a lot of good stuff. But my big concern is they've proven that they can make a graphical game. They've proven they can make a game with great controls. They've proved that they can keep a franchise going, but they have not proven that they can make a game with story, depth, characters, originality. That's the big one. I mean, that's where they really got to prove themselves. If they're going to remake a beloved game, who cares? I really don't, because I know they can do it. I know they've done it before. I want to know what they can do new. New is where it's at. New is hip. New is happening. Are they going to do that? Or are they just going to continue to bring franchises back from the dead for Sony, which isn't a bad thing? I mean, it really isn't. Sony has got a lot of great crap in the back burners that they could pull out at any time and have a company like this really make it shine, make it new, make it interesting, like they did with Demon's Souls. But I want to see what they can do new. That's my big thing. I'm happy for them. I mean, I'm sure they got a lot of bank out of it. I didn't see how much, but it's Sony, so I would make them bastards pay out the wazoo. But it's definitely not a surprise. I mean, Nick, you're absolutely right. Oh my God, they were bought up by Sony. No way. They've only been making games for Sony forever. That's not a shock. But I am happy for them, and I'm happy for Sony. I mean, everybody knows how I feel about Sony as a company, but I do love me good games, and Sony puts them out, and I'm good with it. So more developers. But I do want to note, I am really getting tired of these purchases. I'm worried that between Microsoft and EA and Activision and Sony buying up all of these people, we're going to lose independent developers who have different mindsets and abilities to make games that are just out of left field. It Takes Two is one of those games that really caught us all off guard this year. And I don't think a game like that being controlled by a conglomerate, I mean, it was produced by EA, but they're not owned by EA. So, but I worry about that. Too many of the great game companies being thrown under one umbrella. Are they going to start losing their originality and things, especially under companies like EA, who basically just destroy developers? So that's me.
Right, but you have to understand there's a difference between being published by and developed by. I mean, EA didn't do jack with That Takes Two besides publish it.
Exactly.
But
I don't want to see them being bought up by EA and ruined like EA does everything else. Right. And Microsoft's bought a lot of studios. Sony's bought a lot of studios. So I'm just worried about, these people being pulled into one umbrella and then being basically forced to produce the same turd over and over and over and over. They start as an A and then they just keep making the same thing and the same thing. We start to lose originality, and I don't know. That worries me when everybody's being bought up right now. Sony's trying to compete with Microsoft a little bit because Microsoft's starting to make some headway towards Sony, which is great because I love competition. Competition helps us.
Right. Well, you know what they'll do, Shane? They'll just have Crystal Dynamics come in and help them.
That's true. Crystal Dynamics. They do it. They do it.
Right. So, it's going to be interesting because, Sony has made a few acquisitions in the last couple of years that have been pretty decent and pretty good size. Well, it's to be seen, right? Because earlier this year, there was rumors going around that Sony had already purchased Bluepoint. So over the, earlier in the summer, and now they've just really made it official. They've been second party for freaking ever. They're treated like they were treated like family before, really, when you think about it. Because as you mentioned, they really hadn't done anything for anything outside of Sony since like 2013 when they did like a port for the Xbox or some crap like that, So it's just that they were a second party and now they're a first party. So it's like a company going, we're a partner. Now we're bringing the partner into the family, So it is what it is. Nobody would have been like, I didn't see that coming. If you did say that you didn't see that coming, then you have no idea what Bluepoint's been doing the last 5 to 10 years.
Oh, yes. Yep. Sony put a ring on it, and good for them. Good for them. Maybe they'll make Sony an honest woman.
Yep. So, but like I said, they are rumored to be working on something original. So we'll see what that something original is, So who knows what that something original is? I saw gameplay from the Demon Souls game. It looked gorgeous. Not my game style, but it was a gorgeous looking game. So, I could see lots of improvements from the original. Nick, did the gameplay improve? Did it feel better, feel worse? When you're comparing like Demon Souls, because Demon Souls has to be a tight controlled game anyway for the gameplay it is. Did you feel they overall did it justice, Yeah,
it was overall 100% better than the original. Just graphically, control wise, everything was superb.
So, well, one thing about the controls, though, Nick plays inverted, so his opinion about freaking controls don't count because he plays gimpy hand.
I'm always flying the plane.
He's flying with the little hand. So yeah. So, I think they interviewed Marco Thrush, IGN did earlier in the year, and he said that they were at that time working on something, not a remaster or a remake. So they were probably well aware this was coming, and, they've just been working with Sony to do whatever. I'm interested to see what working on the beloved franchise is and what's unique that they're coming out with. So hopefully it's some new unique IP. I love new IPs, especially from AAA studios and stuff. So we'll have to see what they come up with. So either any of you guys got any parting words for this one before we put it to bed? There's not much to say about this. We have no clue what they're working on, whether it's a remaster, remake, or whether it's new. We have no clue. So all we know is that Sony purchased it for an undisclosed amount. And Bluepoint's an Austin, Texas-based company. So they have a foothold in the West. They're coming for us. So anybody got any last parting words for this one?
Sony, treat them right.
Bluepoint knows how to reheat last night's leftovers. Let's see what they do with the new recipe.
Yeah. So that means Sony's not getting another home-cooked meal. They're getting nuked leftover. They're getting nuked leftover mashed potatoes and freaking beef roll or some crap,
Most likely a Hot Pocket.
Yeah. It's the meatloaf and mashed potatoes from a week ago.
Right?
So cool. All right. Well, we hope everybody enjoyed this episode. Let us know what you think. Be honest. If you didn't see this coming, you need to post in the comments so we can just all give you the whatabouts and what ifs of it. So, all right, everybody. We hope to catch you in the next episode.
See ya.